Hello and welcome to another bonus episode of Hockey Inside Out. Now, back in 2016, the late, great Guy Lafleur said that the Habs had 4 fourth lines, and now 8 years later, it seems like the Canadiens have 3 fourth lines going. Why do you think it's been so difficult for the Canadiens to fix this problem? There's been different people in the management position, and it just seems to be a reoccurring case. Stu, what do you think?
Yeah, it's been so long since the Canadiens' offense has been their problem forever. And as Guy Lafleur said, they were like 4 fourth lines back then. At least now they have a number one line. They have a real legitimate number one line with Suzuki between Caulfield and Slafkovsky. When Kirby Dach comes back next season, along with Alex Newhook, you got the starts of a number 2 line, a real number 2 line. So there's hope moving forward. But it's a head scratcher to think, they haven't had a 40-goal scorer since Vinny Damphousse. They haven't had a 100-point guy since Mats Naslund. Like, it's, the days of the Flying Frenchman are long gone. Like, this team just has not had offensive forwards. And, and then last season fans were upset. That's why fans were so upset that they drafted David Reinbacher. It wasn't anything against David Reinbacher. It was they had an opportunity to draft an offensive forward, and they chose not to. Having said that, I'd be very shocked if the Canes don't take a forward with their first pick this year in the draft. And I wouldn't be surprised if they use their second first-round pick and package it maybe with something else to try and get another Alex Newhook or Kirby Dach type of forward, a guy in his 22, 23-year age group who has some offensive ability, who maybe hasn't been given a chance with another team. So it's been a problem for a long time. This management team understands that. Marty St. Louis, the concepts that he plays with, encourage offense. It's not a stifling defensive system. Kent Hughes, after his midseason news conference, when I spoke with him one-on-one, and he said, it's not like we're playing a neutral zone trap here. Like, you can see the style of hockey we want to play moving forward, and that's true. They just need to find the pieces now to make that, the forward pieces, to make that offense work. They already have them on the blue line. I mean, they've got some offensive talent on the blue line, but it's a problem that I'm confident that this management team is in the process of fixing.
I think really the bottom line here is the injuries to some key guys for long term to get a real reading and to get a real feel on what the team's capable of doing. Doc, we talk about him. Dvorak, also a guy that's the injury bug has not allowed him to do what he should be doing, and then. Newhook has missed extensive time frame here, and then you got your other guys in Anderson and Gallagher that just have underperformed. They haven't been able to contribute with the expectations that a lot of people had. So you throw a bunch of guys into that picture, and it's tough to have any type of success when you only have one line going. So. I really believe that the combination of key guys being out for extended periods, trying to mix and match different combinations inconsistently, that type of decisions that they've been making, and then just the guys that are supposed to be doing something aren't doing it. And you know what? That's the end of story. If the guys just underproduce, then it's tough to win hockey games.
Yeah, the path to getting more than 3 fourth lines is development and drafting, right? Patience is a virtue. I think this team has had a lot of issues, not just with drafting, but with development until this new regime came in. It's been a sink or swim philosophy. Guys like Brendan Gallagher will make it because they would have made it everywhere. And guys that needed a little bit of more help along the way fell through the cracks consistently. In 2021, when Ducharme was coach, when Caulfield was sent down to the American Hockey League, at one point, the Canadiens only had Arturi Lehkonen and Michael Pezzetta in the NHL who were drafted by the team. That's it. On a 21-man roster, 2 players drafted, and one of them being, a maximum 13th forward, 12th forward type guy, and the other guy being, he was a long time ago, Arturi Lehkonen was drafted. So there was a long stretch of really bad drafting and bad development that the Canadiens are just now getting over. And unfortunately, during a rebuild, you're going to have more fourth lines than you want.
Well, in a perfect world, maybe Joshua Roy develops into that second line winger to play with Dach and Newhook, right? That would be, now you'd have number one line and a number two line where the oldest guy is like 24 years old. That looks good when you're moving forward in a rebuild. And then you have Gallagher and Anderson and the veteran third line, maybe with Dvorak. But Anderson's been a real disappointment this season. Like, can he get it back next season? I mean, I think that long stretch he went earlier in the year when he couldn't score a goal, I think that really screwed with his head. I think his mind space is in a bad spot right now. Maybe an off season, and he comes back next season and he can start scoring again. Gallagher's Gallagher. He's going to give you everything he's got. I don't think on a Stanley Cup team he's a top 6 guy, but if he can fit into that third line role and produce some offense there, that would be good. But I think, as I said, a key, we don't know who they're going to draft first pick, obviously, this year. We don't know what other trades they might make, but I think Joshua was a guy. He played with Connor Bedard at the World Juniors, and Connor Bedard said he's one of the best wingers he ever played with, and talked about his hockey sense and his hockey IQ. So I think there's hope that Joshua Waugh, it's going to take a little bit of time, but that he might be able to develop into that second line winger on a team that will no longer have 3/4 lines.
What do you think the Canadiens management need to do to fix this problem? Leave it in the comments section below, and check out hockeyinsideout.com to see our full episode.